Not enough down the stretch. A big third quarter doomed the Sixers because the Blazers outscored them 35-20. Welcome here to Sixers postgame live, brought to you by Querim Insurance, Amy Fiddle, Jim Lanham, and Mark Jackson. And we talked about it earlier, guys, just not getting the stops, and obviously then also not getting the offense going your way. When you're outscored by 15 in a quarter, that really sets the tone, Mark, after halftime. What did you see from the Sixers down the stretch? Because they had 61 at the half.
Yeah, I just think Portland turned it up. I think their pace of play just kind of got to the Sixers a little bit. Maybe some fatigue set in because Sixers are limited in player personnel. But with that being said, I thought the momentum that third quarter, and we talked about it, you know, back the way Golden State was dominating when they in their heyday, is their third quarters is incredible. Once again, third quarter is important. As you see now, Portland used to their advantage, took advantage, they got the win.
Yes, they did. Well, it didn't help to have Tyrese Maxey go down with a back contusion in this game. So we're going to take a look at that play. And Coach,
and your 4 years at Duke, and basketball's been part of your life. And one thing, every sport, and Jim and Mark back in the studio, they'll tell you the same thing. Injuries are never an excuse.
No.
But there comes a point where you don't have enough guys. And right now, this team, I don't remember seeing an NBA team go through a stretch quite like this.
No, you're absolutely right. And again, at the time is the fact that the Sixers are not really at full strength. We've seen that, but they don't have any depth either. That's the problem. It's one thing to be riddled with injuries, but it's another thing to not have any options behind you on that bench. And I think now that we get deeper into this season, we're starting to see a myriad of injuries, guys going down left and right. It's a little disconcerting, but the 76ers, with their depleted ranks, have somehow got to get on a plane and go play one of the best teams in the Western Conference in less than 24 hours.
And it's one of the things, and Coach Lyman back in the studio knows all about this. Nobody cares.
No,
right?
Not at all.
Minnesota's going to see you come in and say, "Great, that's good for us." But you know, for the fans, this is such a season of promise, and to see it go like this just has to be frustrating night in, night out. But you do love to see guys like Andre Drummond and the effort he gave to. Here's a veteran who's been around the league for a long time. He had one of the better games he's had in the last 3 or 4 years, with 25 and 18 here tonight. So you know the guys who do play, or healthy enough to play, I should say, are still playing hard for Nick.
Yeah, and there's a lot to play for, right? You're not playing for necessarily this score or this season per se, but you're playing for future employers. There's always somebody watching you do your thing. So you're not playing to the score. You're playing to impress on a constant basis, hopefully.
So I'm disappointed. This will end my friendship with Kate Scott. I turn her back a team with 2 more injuries here, right? On a 1-game win streak and feeling good. But we'll see if the guys can find something. What a pleasure. Kate said how great a dude you are to work with.
My goodness, she lied to you.
She undersold it. You're right. She undersold it. You are fabulous.
You're too kind.
Real pleasure. We'll be watching you guys the rest of the way. And Amy, thanks to you and the guys back in the studio, the whole team, for the welcome. It was a fun hang. We need to get the Sixers healthy and better, so when we come back in the fall with the NBA on NBC, we're back in a building that I enjoy coming to, and a place where they like me right now. Amy, the highlight of the night was when I got to ring the bell before the game, and the last thing, in true Philly fashion, the young man who brings the bell out looks at me and said, "Don't miss the bell." And I said, wait a minute, don't miss the bell. The bell is like bigger than our heads combined.
You'd be surprised, Mike. You'd be surprised.
That's what he said. He said, how do people miss this bell? But so at least I got out of here unscathed and not on the blooper reel. But thanks, everyone. What a pleasure to be with you all tonight, and stay healthy the rest of the season.
We enjoyed it. Thanks so much for stopping by. We saw you with Nick Sirianni before the game as well, so good stuff. And we look forward to having you call the games this fall on NBC. Thanks, Mike Tirico. Thanks, Ala, too.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you too, Ala. You too. All right, thanks so much, guys. Kate Scott will be back with Ala tomorrow when they head out to Minnesota. And you know, Mike said it right there. It's tough. But, Coach, you know as good as anybody, it doesn't matter. The Timberwolves aren't going to feel bad for the Sixers having 2 more injured.
No, they'll be laying in wait. You know, the Sixers are going to be on a back-to-back, and my guess is they're going to be very, very shorthanded again. But I think that Mike Tirico made a good point there, Amy. You can sustain injuries to a point. The degree to which their top 3 players, when you take Tyrese Maxey, who's been playing injured, and then tonight he goes down and gets a back contusion. So no Joel Embiid. You have no Paul George, no Tyrese Maxey. I mean, you just 41 points in the second half. You reach a point, as Ala said, the depth is tested to a degree. You can't ask players to do something that they're simply not capable of doing. To go out and be able to give a good contribution and get your, 3 or 4 baskets in an 18-minute stint, that's your role. That's what this league is about, fulfilling your role. But guys are not going to go from 6-point scorers to 25-point scorers. To win last night, you needed 44 points from Grimes. To hang in this game tonight, you needed 16 at the half for Drummond. It's the most he's had in a half, in 4 or 5 years. And that's what you're asking. You're asking for players to do so much more than they're normally capable of doing.
Yeah, this one, second half, and Coach, you mentioned it, 41 points after the half is never going to get it done. And they just weren't unable to get stops. We talked about the offensive rebounding, but also about the lack of production. 30 missed shots.
It's continuously up your back and make you get on your heels, and we're going to keep coming downhill. And that's what happened in the second half. I thought the Sixers did a very good job of running with them in that first half. This third quarter, I thought Portland just turned it up a whole nother level. Yeah,
I mean, Coach, that's such a good point. These are not off misses. They're off makes sometimes.
Well, that defense doesn't get set. And the second thing they do, when they take the first shot, you're not in position to block people out. And as a result, these athletic guys knife to the rim, and they create second opportunities, and they did it tonight.
Speaking of athletic guys, Anthony Simons absolutely top of that list. 34 points, 13 of 26, 6 of 11 from 3. You can see that, couple of steals, some assists, and rebounds. He was all over the place. And here's a guy.
21 in the second half.
Exactly. 21 of his 34 coming in the second half. They came out of the gates. The Trailblazers have won 5 of their last 6, and without that overtime win by the Cavaliers, they should have won 6 in a row coming into
That was last night.
That was just last night. That's the thing. They're coming off of back-to-back. They did have a lot more energy. And how tough is it for them to play that style, coming off back-to-backs and continuing to play that style with the athletic nature that they have?
Well, the best part about Chauncey Billups having a young team, he can afford to do that because these guys got a tank full of energy. They could play back-to-back and run the same way. Eventually, teams wear it out if you have something going back at them.
Yeah.
But the Sixers being shorthanded, they don't really have a lot of weapons to go back at them. So then the Sixers' legs wear out before them because they don't have enough guys. And then you look at this Portland team, this is how they play night in and night out. This is something they're comfortable with, and no matter what happens, they want to let you know we're going to continue to come at you.
Yeah, and they did with abandon as they outscored the Sixers big time in the second half. As I mentioned, it was 61-52 Sixers in the lead at the half, and this one finished 119-102. That's you everything that you need.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng, và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là nước biển. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là nước lợ. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé. Đầu tiên là màu cam nha.
Em cho vào cứng lên thế.
Có 2 màu